Greetings everyone, and I hope you're all good. I'm Zainab, and I'm here with you on the behalf of Canadian Pakistani Support Group. I welcome you all to this very informative session, and I know you will learn a lot from our expert today. In fact, I'm looking forward to it. Today, our webinar is part of series of workshop Body, Mind, and Soul Wellness. And this webinar specifically is based on healthy body lifestyle. So we will be covering the body wellness part today. And today we will talk about how yoga transforms your body. And most importantly, the scientific and biological aspect of yoga. So it is very important to understand what scientific evidence actually supports the yoga and body transformation. And we'll be enlightened by our speaker today. And I think we have the expert and the best person to enlighten us today, Dr. Punam Chohan, a very insightful lady with diverse experience. Dr. Punam is clinical researcher, holistic wellness professional, entrepreneur, and certified yoga coach. So we will have a perfect blend of science and yoga. And I'll encourage you all to share your thoughts, questions, and queries, whatever you have in your mind. Our expert is today with us, and we will have a very meaningful session today. So thank you very much, Dr. Punam, for joining us today for this very informative session, and welcome to the session. So we have our webinar attendees in the Zoom session and also live on Facebook. So how are you feeling today?
I'm good, Zainab, and thank you very much for a very kind introduction. And I'm really humbled by that. And I really hope that our viewers and our listeners can benefit from it, as many people across the globe are getting benefit from this. So I'm really looking forward for this talk today with you.
In fact, I'm really excited for it. And I think I will learn a lot about yoga. There's so much out there, and you are a yoga trainer and also a researcher. So I think we'll have a very meaningful session. So I think we should just start off, and we have some time, and keeping in mind that we have this session and attendees. So what is the importance of yoga for body and wellness? And if this is just one starting point for me to understand that why yoga is important, and I'm asking this question from you. So being a trainer and expert on it, how would you like to answer it?
Yes, I wish I could summarize that or put in my words today in 1 hour.
Yeah.
But I will try my best to summarize and let our viewers know about its benefit and the aspect of yoga. So, just before I start with that question of yours, the benefit, I want to let everyone know it's very old. It's more than about 10,000-year-old practice,
Okay.
and it's really old. People have been practicing it for ages, but it's just that now only we are realizing its importance. We are imbibing it in our life. This ancient wisdom, which is so long, which is originated in India. Many gyms, as you have seen here, even in Canada, Western worlds, they are offering it. Many public schools, they have started to teach yoga, and growing number of doctors, they are prescribing it because the benefits are so much. So it is just becoming huge. Everyone is becoming more aware of it, and you must have seen so many yoga studios as common as Starbucks now.
Yeah.
So it is so important because people are realizing now it is a very holistic way to inculcate good habits, good health. And when I say good health or wellness, it is just not limited to your body. It is an overall health. It is an overall health in terms of your physical body, your mental well-being, your spiritual, your emotional, everything. It will give you the benefit. And also, I want to let everyone know that there are so many forms of yoga available now. Like you must have heard the word hatha yoga or ashtang yoga. There are short classes, there are long classes, there are hot yoga studios. But everything at the end, they share common practices like asanas, the poses, which everyone call in a more generic word, poses, focused breathing exercises, and meditation practices. So these are the pillars. Although in Ashtanga Yoga there are 8 pillars, but in yoga studios or in classes, we teach our participants at least these 3 limbs of yoga out of 8.
Okay.
So that is the asanas, the breathing, and the meditation practices. And this is what I would say is the whole gist of yoga is coming from here. So this is how I would start, that it poses challenge to your body. Like when you do poses, it challenges your muscles and your bones. And the two other aspects that I just talked about, the breathing aspect and the meditation aspect, it calms your mind. So it's a whole complete thing that works on your physical aspect and also goes deeper down to your mental aspect, your energy levels, your emotional levels, your spiritual aspects. So the whole benefits would come from there. And we will see in our talk today what are the benefits, short term, long term. We will see that.
Yeah. So now that you have actually given me a very good introduction of yoga and its importance on the mental and the body, I would like to know, if I start yoga today and after one class, what should be my expectation? Like, this is how I should feel, and okay, I'll feel that I'm internally calm, my body is feeling good, my heart is at peace. Or let's say if I continue for 1 month or 1 year, or if I decide to make it a like lifetime practice, what should I be expecting in terms of transformation, that as you call it?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Zainab, that you've asked. Benefits of yoga starts right after your first class. You don't have to wait for a long time. Even after the first class, you would feel that you are more calm. Your stress levels are way better. You will feel more calm down, and your brain will be more clearer just after a single class. So I'm talking of the very, very short term effects. And you would you will feel more flexible. Even after doing few poses, you will feel that strength in your body, you will feel that flexibility in your body. And as I said, that is just after the one class. And everything again comes down to that, how is that happening? As I was mentioning before, in the yoga practices that we offer in the yoga studios or in the classes, is mainly through the asanas, the breathing practices, and also the meditation practice. And what it does is that it it promotes the rest and digest response in our body. The parasympathetic nervous system, if I were to say in more scientific terms, or rest or digest. We are mostly, all of us are always in a to go mode. We are always planning on things. There are to do lists in our mind always playing. We cannot relax anymore. With the modern world, with the modernized society, there are so many things that always play in your mind. So what it does is it calms down that part of your brain that is always making you run and run and run endlessly. So, and it brings a balance in your life. So after one class, as I just said, so this is basic what it does with the regular practice. And after single class, I've seen people saying, oh, I'm feeling so relaxed, I'm feeling so good, I'm feeling so energized at the same time. So it's a beautiful combination. The word yog, it's coming from the word union. So it's a beautiful union of how your mind is relaxed but your body is energized. So I think this is what we ask for. We want our bodies to be active, but at the same time we want to think clearly. We want to think in a relaxed way so that we can make wise decisions. So this is will happen just after the class. Now let's move, as you just asked, what would happen if you're practicing for a few months and then you are making this practice as a way of your life. There are so many benefits, and as you just said, everything that we will talk today is backed by the scientific research. Being a researcher, I always like to educate my clients, my patients, my friends, that with the body of evidence that we have today in science. So the number one is the heart health. And you will see your heart functions. There is reduction in your blood pressure levels as you practice yoga every day through your life. And I want to mention here a study that was conducted by University of Pennsylvania, that after completing 3 months of the yoga course, the participants with the hypertension, they had significant lower blood pressure. Their blood pressure levels were so much lower than the other people who were not doing yoga, if you were to compare. And also, the studies found that yoga would be very instrumental in improving the glucose tolerance in your body, how your body is handling the glucose and the insulin, the triglycerides, the fat profile, the blood pressure. All these factors, they lead to the heart disease. And by the constant practice of yoga, you would see everything coming to a balance. And at the end, of course, your heart health will be way better. You're less prone to heart attacks or blood pressure levels. So, this is one of the very big benefits that people would see in their life. And the second one, as you've asked, is the bone health.
Yeah.
Again, it's a big benefit of, we want all of us, our bones to be strong so we can do all the functions in our life. The running around, we are doing it
I would
without
say
getting
hiking.
tired.
Yeah.
Right? You're sitting here, I'm doing, everyone has families or even the work, and you don't need to run around. And what is making you to do that? Your muscles and your bones. And it was a 2009 study by Fishman, one of the researchers, who found that a 10-minute of a yoga a day, just a 10 minutes. See, we are just talking of short time. The 10 minutes of yoga for some time, it helped to build the bones in middle-aged people. So you can see it is backed by science. It's not that, of course, the ancient wisdom was always saying that, but we as humans, we like always some evidence. So I would not have never doubted it, but just how science is doing it now. So, and why does it? When you do some asanas like bending and twisting, what it does, it stimulates your bone cells, the cells that produce bones, osteocytes. So it stimulates those cells and your bones become strong. And then again, unlike the physical exercises that we do, it does not damage your cartilages. It does not lead to any side effects like osteoarthritis. I've seen people who are doing weights and too much of activity, they're ultimately at the end, they will have weak bones. But yoga, unlike that, it will make the bones healthier. And so I would say this is a beautiful benefit. So we can run around, we can do our chores. So this is, again, as I said, amazing. I'm always amazed by the data that we have now in front of us. And the next benefit I would like to mention today, there are so many benefits, but I would limit myself to the main benefits that are really seen and that people tell us, I'm feeling strong after doing yoga classes. I'm more flexible, I'm more strong. So we have studies now. One other thing, that very common problem that we see here is rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah.
It's an autoimmune disease, and which causes painful joints and even the surrounding tissues. It becomes very painful. And usually the doctors, they prescribe steroids and things like that to manage pain. But I must say here that just depending on steroids, you have to take it, but it has a lot of side effects like weight gain. You can have heart problems with that. So again, a study here that was conducted, that participants who attended a yoga camp, and they practice all the breathing exercises and yoga poses twice a day, their rheumatoid arthritis level improved so much that they could do their own activities like dressing themselves up and basic tasks. So even the rheumatoid factor levels, that is it's a factor that you find in the blood of those patients, even that was dropped. So again, it's amazing that you know so how immense the benefits could be. And going further, I would say, uh, your and we will talk about mental health as a separate thing, and muscle strength, back pain issues. People just get so much of relief with doing yoga poses, of course, guided by the experienced yoga trainer and also by the doctor. It's a complementary. It doesn't work on its own. So you always want to work with someone who is therapeutic level yoga instructor, and also want to talk to your doctor. So I would say these are some of the long term effects that you will see in your body, apart from your mental health. And I would want to talk that topic as a separate topic, because it is again is amazing. So Zainab, I would say I would keep that. Of course, your for young people, many girls, they come, their skin levels, their skin becomes very clear when you do yoga. There's a lot of shine in their face. So I would say some of the cosmetic level changes you can expect. Weight loss, again, a big benefit from doing yoga. Weight loss, people experience slimness in the body, uh, and more consistent weight management. So I would say the effects are endless, but these are some of the main ones that I would like to tell my audience today here.
And I think our audience must be there who are having some sort of these issues. They're like hypertension, there are sleeplessness, there is back pains, there are rheumatoid arthritis. There could be so many problems that could be solved by just an activity that you can become part of life, and eventually you will see a change in your life. Now that you mentioned about all of these activities and all of these changes backed up by scientific evidence, I'm really interested in the mental health part now. And the reason being that I think yoga is a challenge for your body and your own personality, that you have to calm yourself. You learn patience with those breathing activities. And like we are all in a hustle and everything, and it needs time to, calm yourself and then just do the activities. Definitely it affects your mind. We have a lot of clients and we have a lot of people, and especially in COVID-19 and nowadays, I see a lot of mental health challenges: stress, anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, insomnia, continuously restlessness inside you. And it's like really fighting inside of you. And then we look for some remedies, some mitigation, some escape, something that can ease up your thoughts. There's not, I always tell my friend, there's not one switch that you can turn off and your thoughts would shut down. If that could have been possible, it would be a miraculous thing. But does yoga help with these mental health issues, especially those who are going through and struggling through and going through some therapies or are on certain medications or at the risk of some, mental illness? Some are going through post-traumatic stress disorders or some kind of trauma. Can yoga be a kind of therapy for them that can help them with their mental health issues?
You have asked such a beautiful question, and my always I stress this is what I love to tell everyone, that yoga and mental health, they go hand in hand, big time. And of course, as I will talk later, everything will be we will have medical advice as well. But as you just said, there are so many stressors. We have COVID now, and even the COVID was not there. Even before that, we always have something or the other to stress ourselves. It is becoming a way of life. And because of that, so many problems like obesity, there is heart disease, there is depression, there is diabetes, and so many problems that related to your gut, acidity, indigestion, just because of the stress, because we are always in a two mode mode. We are always in a fight or flight mode. And unfortunately, I must say, it is one condition that we haven't learned yet how to deal effectively. We haven't learned so far how to deal with stress. And we kind of deal with stress throughout our life. Even if it's a young kid, they are stressed because of the peer pressure, they are stressed because of the studies, be it a professional who is working out, so much of work deadlines, be it a housewife. I mean, people, the ladies who are even staying home, even they are not stress free. So everyone is stressed. It's like a universal phenomena. Everyone is stressed, and we have not found a way. In olden times, of course, there was people had the way, but now. And so mood disorders, as you just mentioned, they respond very positively to yoga, very positively to yoga. The medications, as doctors prescribe sometimes for depression, and anxiety. You have to take it. I mean, but sometimes to find a right cocktail is very difficult. For one person, it might work, and sometime it doesn't work, and the side effects can be very deterring. It could be a lot of side effects with the medications for anxiety and depression. Yoga, I always call it, it works like a Prozac. Prozac is a medication that we use for antidepressant. It's
Yeah.
an antidepressant. So it works like a Prozac. It's a very big antidepressant effect. And here again, I would like to mention a research at the Boston University School of Medicine. They divided people into two groups. Group one, they were walking 60 minutes walk 3 times a day. And the group two, they were doing yoga for the same time, 60 minutes, 3 times a week. They were doing yoga. And what they found was that people in the yoga group, they had lower levels of anxiety, they have greater improvement of mood, and also one of the transmitter, it is called GABA, GABA.
Yeah.
It is a neurotransmitter
Mhm.
that promote a state of calm. The levels were so much higher in people who were doing yoga 3 times 60 minutes a week, 60 minutes 3 times a week they were doing, as compared to the people who were just walking. They were just walking outside. So again, as I said, we have a proof now that doing yoga consistently under a guidance of a trained or an experienced yoga teacher is very, very helpful. Again, your doctor has a big role. uh, she always, you don't just rely on yoga alone. It is always complementary between uh, the allopathy, that I call the English medicine system, and the yoga. So you work together and it work wonders. And when you have, your mood is better. The One of the benefits that come from doing yoga practices regularly is that your tension is reduced. We always say, you must have heard people, I'm tensed up. I'm tensed up. They're tensed up for everything and anything. Even if they have to cook food, they are tensed up. Even if they're watching a TV and they cannot find a right show, they are tensed up. So they're always tensed up. I mean, it just amazed me. And but when your mind is calm, you're doing yoga, and I've told you the reason, because of the GABA levels, and because of the, your mind is calm, your body's energized. You will not feel much of the mental disturbances, mental fatigue, confusion, irritability levels, nervousness is way better in a person who is doing yoga practice for a long time. And also here, in connection to the mental health, you will be more mentally agile. You will be more able to take the challenges in your life. I always tell my participants, challenges are not going to go away. They will always stay in your life. But how you handle them, how you take the challenges, that is going to change. You will be more ready. You will be more mentally agile to take up the challenges. And because we cannot expect a world where there is no challenge, there will be stressors, but how you're presenting yourself to the stressor, that's going to change with a calmer mind, with a healthier body. And even the personal values, I would say, when I talk of the mental health, the personal values, like the fear. Some people, they're fearful of many things, the relations, or even at workplace, the insecurity levels, the oppression levels, the fear levels, they go down as you practice yoga. These levels, they go down, and you start to accept faith in your life. You accept the universe the way it is. So and I think the different religions, they have different words for it. And the word is that you're accepting the universe the way it is, with a stronger being, you're accepting it. And once you start to accept it, and things will start to way better, they will fall your way. And you just mentioned, Zainab, I want to tell you a very interesting thing nowadays with COVID. The marital relationships are affecting big time. The number of divorce, that is happening during this time, they were happening before also, but the marital disharmony and the divorce numbers have increased a lot. So what I heard, or what I get the input is that with the practice of yoga, you feel less irritated. You feel less affected by your spouse because they're forced to work together now in home.
Yeah.
They're both husband and wife. They're working from home and they're spending more time than usual. कहते हैं ना, so if you're spending only a little bit of time, it's fine. But if it is
Yeah.
more than that, they're always together, and that's the reason they're always interacting. And sometimes, and most of the time, the interaction is not nice. So the yoga practices, what is happening, you are less irritated by yourself. You get less irritated by what others are doing. When I say other, your husband, especially my husband and wife, your spouse. So this is one very big tool to increase the good relationship between husband and wife, I would say, and also the social values, how you deal your co-workers in a workplace, and even your kids and parents relationship, it's way better. So just a few things that I would really like to mention here, if I were to talk about the mental health aspect of yoga. Yes, it is immense. It's immense.
I think it's now that I listen to all of this, I think it's all about making a peace deal with your mind through yoga. And when you say that accept the world as it is, you are making peace with your own self. And when you are at peace with your own self, everything in the outside world, it won't affect you because from you, you're strong from the inner side. And from this, I think I have a lot of questions also coming up. And now that you have mentioned so many benefits of yoga, I think we should also, little bit talk about what could be the limitations also or contraindications also, if you think there are. And we should enlighten our audience about that part as well. I'm just curious about it. And then there are some questions specifically about some diseases, autoimmune diseases and rheumatoid arthritis that I'm seeing here. And I'll direct all of those questions to you. But first, I want you to enlighten us on some limitations of yoga that if you experience them and if you want to, let our audience know about it.
Yeah, I think this is very important aspect of doing any practice, that you should be aware of its benefits, its good points, but at the same time, you should be also be aware of you should be educated about the limitations. And it's an integrated approach. You always work together with the other lifestyle factors. Let's say if you're working with any goal, let's say your weight loss goal, it is not going to happen just with the yoga practices. It will come with your diet. It will come through the more aerobic exercises also. And and also, one I have to mention, we all are built differently. My constitution is different from yours and anyone else. So not everyone can do everything in yoga, all the asanas, if I were to say, all the breathing practices. And all these asanas, breathing practices, has its own contraindication, so one should be very aware of. Under the guidance, as I said, a guidance of a yoga teacher is must, who can tell you what to do and what you should not do, because some things are not meant for you. If you do those, you might not be benefited, but you will be harmed. So you'll be
Mm.
very careful that you can't just open the Google or YouTube and start doing the yoga somebody is doing. So I always tell people not to do that, because you are different than anyone else, and there is no competition and there is no comparison in yoga. Everyone is built differently, and based on your medical condition, everyone cannot do everything, and some people should avoid some of the poses, some of the breathing practices, even some of the meditation practices. So this is a limitation that we should always have in mind, that before you start any yoga practice, you should always consult with your doctor, and also always look for an experienced teacher who has many years of experience in yoga, who would guide you with the contraindication and the benefits alike. So, and as I say, it's an integrated with the other programs of lifestyle. So we have to be cognizant of everything together, and not just rely on this, and don't read or watch YouTube videos and just start doing it. You might hurt yourself rather than benefiting. So this is one thing that always caution everyone to always consult a good teacher in your life who can guide you based on your diagnosis, your problems.
Because I see that at times, even when we talk about mental health, we are doing it for the sake of awareness and letting everyone know about it. But the moment the webinar or the session ends and we start typing random words on the Google, and we feel like all of these disorders are somehow part of our life. And I remember there was some chapter in our high school, and it was like a man who was a hospital, and he had an assumption that all of these diseases are there because he assumed about all of those symptoms. And same is the case that you might think that you are an expert and Google is your instructor, but that's not how things work. And you might not be actually benefiting yourself rather than hurting yourself, not getting the results that you want rather than getting on a track that you don't want for yourself. We have like 36 minutes that we have completed of our session. Maybe we can help our audience with one breathing activity that we can engage in. We have our live audience also, and we have some attendees over here. So just a break and just, one breathing exercise or something that you can share with us or demonstrate.
Yeah, I would love to do that, Zainab, because I always, as I was mentioning, that just after one class, um, the feeling of calm that you feel comes mostly from the breathing practice. That is a must for every yoga class. The breathing practices are always taught, and they will give you. So I thought, to making this session a little bit more, not just me talking and talking. We have to do through Zoom, so unfortunately, I cannot see anyone, but I thought, it'll be a good thing to do something. And if I would request everyone, although I cannot see anyone here,
I
but
have
if
like
you want to,
12 attendees, and I would like you to respond on chat. When you're asked of some instruction, respond me back on the chat that you're doing it and you're following it. So it would just be a break for us, and then we'll be doing it. So you
so
can.
what I'll do, we will do a nice, and I always like to use music. There is very nice music. Again, as I said, for a recipe, you all need the ingredients, the right ingredients. So we need a right place to do the practice. We need a right atmosphere. So I'm just trying to create a little bit of atmosphere by giving a little music, and you can tell me if you can hear it. Let me start that.
Yes, I can hear it.
So, if I request everyone who is with us today to feel the experience of how breathing can affect, you have to sit up straight. The first rule is that you have to sit up nice and straight. You should not be slouching down. So, your head and neck and spine is in straight line. And even if you're sitting on a chair, it's fine. And I just request everyone to just gently close your eyes. So just close your eyes and just for a second feel your presence in your chair, or feel the space all around you, the room you're sitting today. So just close your eyes. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your facial expressions are neutral. Drop all the expressions around your eyes, around your forehead. Just relax your face. Now take the awareness to the tip of your nose and feel the air that is entering your nostrils and the air that is coming out of your nostrils. Just your awareness to your in breaths and out breaths. There is nothing to do at this time. Just relax and repose. Your whole awareness to your in breaths and out breaths. Now take the awareness to your eyebrow center, between your eyebrows. Imagine there is a golden flame there, unflickering, steady golden flame. Now gently take the awareness to the top of your head, to the space between your head and the ceiling. The space all around you, to the front of your body, the back of your body, on each side of your body. You're completely relaxed. Just few more breaths, just with its normal rhythm. Don't try to change. Just breathe the way it is. And feel the presence of yourself. Slowly and gently open your eyes, looking down first, and then just take your time to open your eyes.
Okay. That was powerful, I think. And I want to ask my attendees that how did you actually feel? And were you with us all along while we were practicing this? So I would like your, comments. And we have some good comments. They said, yes, great, we did it. There is a tick mark. So I think in just these 5 to 10 minutes, we gifted everyone these relaxation minutes and breathing. And thank you, Dr. Punam, for giving me this, a breathing practice that helped me with all of this. And I never thought that this is how the awareness works when we are breathing and we are, practicing it all along. And I
This
think,
is amazing. I know, Zainab, and that's what I always tell everyone, that because there are misconceptions about yoga being very difficult. Um, this is very simple. This is very simple. All you need is a right teacher. With the guidance of the right teacher, and it is amazing. The effects. And we did a little bit faster practice, but we are just not stopping in our life. We are not even aware that we are breathing. How you tell me how many minutes in a day you're aware that you're breathing? We are not aware. Sometimes I would say, as yeah, you look up and you think, oh wow, you are alive because of your breathing. We have to honor that. We have to honor that breath that is keeping us alive, but we are not even honoring, is a way far thing. We are not even realizing that we are breathing. So we teach the clients how to breathe proper, and then breathing nicely that's a part of the breathing exercise or the pranayam, would take care of so many problems. Again, the mental health, just because you're supplying your body with so much of oxygen and the nutrients that you feel so energetic. Without, I always tell everyone, you eat the best quality of food, you pay so much of money in bringing, but what is the point if there is no fuel to burn that food? What is the point? You're just keeping a pot full of good food in front of on the gas stove, but you forgot to ignite the gas. There is pointless, right? So you're putting in the best food, the vitamins and everything in the body, but we are not igniting the fire. So breathing acts like that. And even if you're not eating good food, just the normal food, but you're breathing properly, I would say you would work way better. So it's a simple thing. It's free of cost. It's free of cost. Breathing is available to you any
You just
time of
have
the
to
day. You
feel
don't
it
have to go
and sit
anywhere.
and feel it. Yes, yes, indeed. I
Right.
think it was such a big realization if all of us just feel it for a minute and then be grateful for what we have and we don't realize it. So now I think I'll move on to the questions. And I have a question from Jaspreet. And can yoga cure autoimmune disease like ulcerative colitis? So now this is like a very specific disease that is mentioned here. So I would like to know that if there's some scientific evidence for these kind of autoimmune diseases.
So, as I was telling you in my talk, yoga is not curative. It's more like a prevention, but it has some of the good effects. So, ulcerative colitis and other autoimmune diseases, we know there is antibodies
Yeah.
that is directed towards your own cells. And same with ulcerative colitis, the antibodies, they work against your own gut. And yoga does help. It helps big time with any autoimmune problem and also with ulcerative colitis. People with ulcerative colitis, when they are doing yoga, again, with the consult of the doctor and a right teacher, so you are given poses, proper poses that should be done, and you should be avoiding the practices, should not be doing with that. Yes, there is a body of evidence that say ulcerative colitis and yoga big time help. You can do with the ulcerative, your digestive functions will improve, your anxiety levels, because these people, they have a lot of anxiety issues and mental health issues as well. So that is called the functional problems that is related with that. And you would see with the constant practice of yoga, and when I say yoga, I don't mean just the asanas. That is one misconception here, that we equate yoga with the asanas only. No, that is not correct. So, proper combination of asanas, the breathing practices, and the meditation, dhyan practices will benefit from ulcerative colitis. Yes.
And that brings us to another question that is related to poses, actually. And this is a question from Uzma Dildar. And she's saying, please suggest yoga poses, particularly for back pain and strengthening your pelvic floor. Also, the osteoarthritis patients to strengthen their bones. Can we reverse, and there, this is very interesting, can we reverse anti-aging effect on face through yoga? So I think,
Yes.
and she's mentioned that if there are any facial yoga poses specifically, that's what she has asked.
Yes, Uzma. There is, this is where yoga's benefit have been always. I would say, if I were to rank the yoga benefits, I would keep back pain issues and the pain issues, specifically the muscle strengthening, which we just saw in our talk, the bone strengthening. There are yoga poses again, and I must say here again, the back pain cause has to be known before you give the yoga
Yes,
pose, because
exactly.
a back pain which is resulting from the herniated disc is, the yoga poses for that will be different from the spinal stenosis, where the spinal column is shortened. So, as I said, we go hand to hand between the diagnosis that is provided by the doctor and your yoga therapist, and she would guide you that which pose you should be doing it and which pose you should not be doing it. As I was mentioning, not everyone can just do anything. So yes, big time help with the back pain issues, but one has to know the cause. And also anti-aging. Yoga is a big time anti-aging, because when you do yoga, a lot of blood circulation goes to all parts of your body. your face, your muscles, your skin. You will see your skin level will improve. I've seen young girls acne going away with doing yoga, because the hormones get balanced also with doing yoga. And the menopausal problems, the perimenopausal, postmenopausal problem, hot flashes, irritability, as we were talking about, yoga balances. And there are breathing practices that balances your hormones. So by doing that, yes, anti-aging, there are so many facial yoga poses that, and I say there is, you have to do, which really helps combined with the breathing. Because yoga is nothing but a union between your physical movement and your breathing. That is a yoga as a union. Unlike the physical exercises, there is no awareness of your breathing. You just do exercise. But in yoga, when you combined even the facial moves with the correct breathing exercise and the correct moves, you are definitely improving your looks. That builds your self confidence. I would say that is very important. So yes, Usma, big time help with anti aging. It is anti aging your face, your back pain. It is very helpful.
And then we have last 9 minutes and some interesting questions coming out. Does yoga and meditation go together? Are they part of the same package or are they two different things? A
No,
question.
yeah, very, very beautiful question. Meditation is part of yoga. So people think that yoga is just doing some of the postures. That is not, that is a part. Asanas, as I was mentioning, in a traditional Patanjali yoga is Ashtang. It's 8 limbs. There are 8 parts of yoga practice. In a yoga studio, we can only teach 3, which is the asanas, pranayam, which is the breathing, and dhyan, we call meditation. In a more, the word meditation, that means dhyan. But there are 5 other limbs that you have to practice in your life. And without practicing the other 5, you will not see the benefit. If you think that just by doing the asanas, I'm going to get benefits, you are not going to get the benefits just by doing asanas. So you have to be again in touch with experienced yoga teacher who could guide you, that other than the studio, what are the other 5 limbs that you need to practice in your life. Like some of the, I would just say one, some of the disciplines in your life, like cleanliness, about your body, about your space, that is really important to promote the mental health. So it creates a discipline in your life by doing some things that you would do, you know just a small thing, taking shower on the right time, combing your hair, brushing your teeth. It sounds simple, but it has profound effect on your mental health. The day you would not comb your hair versus you would feel, just a simple exercise, just combing your hair makes you feel so good. So
Yeah.
everything is important. So not just by doing the asanas, no, it's not just going to give you the benefit. So if you're practicing 8 limbs, as close possible, but for sure 3. So meditation is part of the yoga practice, a very important part actually.
Yes, thank you very much for giving us that detailed response on it. And there are two questions, and then there are more coming out. So Shabana is asking that, of course, it takes time when you start your journey and you're getting into that practice. And if there's, it's just the first step for all of us who are here in this Zoom session and on the live Facebook stream also, that how many minutes a day we should focus on our breathing, just a starting point, first step, and then we slowly and gradually move on to accepting yoga in our life. So the question is, how many minutes would you recommend to concentrate on our breathing in a day? And that would like start giving us the motivation towards yoga.
So if you are thinking as a breathing to your starting point, that also is good. I would say even 5 minutes of a weird breathing, even a 5 minutes where you are doing a breathing, where you are aware of it. As we were just doing this exercise, so you can just sit in a calm place. I told you the position. And also some other things that is very important, your stomach should be empty. You should not do it after a meal. That is very important. People often, they have meal and they come and sit and do it. No, you should not be doing it Your stomach should be preferably empty between 2 to 3 hours between the last meal. To Because when you are doing with the right preparation, your body will get the benefit. So yes, you can even start with 5 minutes a day. You will feel so much better, and then you can gradually build. If you're just doing the breathing, I would say you're always combining the breathing with some of the yoga asanas and some of the meditation. But if you cannot do anything else and you want to start with the breathing, it's again a very good point. You can always pick any point. 5 minutes is a good starting point, 10 minutes, and then you can set up some practical goals. Don't set up something where you're expecting too much and then you're falling back. So 5 minutes a day with the correct preparation, for sure, I would recommend it. It's very good starting point.
Wonderful. I think that's all a starting point for all of us and a motivation for us also. So there is an anonymous question that has been posted in my stream, and it's a case actually. And they have mentioned that I have osteoarthritis in both of my knees and tendinitis in my feet, which poses of yoga I can do, because I started taking a class. They mentioned their experience, but then I left as I couldn't do many asanas and I am overweight also. So that is a very practical and realistic case that we have.
Beautiful. And the whole, again, the zest comes to uh, going to a right teacher who knows for your condition what yoga poses can be given and what are contraindicated. So if you start doing just any yoga pose which is good for knees, let's say I type in Google yoga for osteoarthritis or yoga for knee, might not still help you. I need to see as a yoga teacher what type of osteoarthritis you have, your weight. She just said she or he is overweight, your some other factors like social background, and based on all that, even obesity is contraindication for some of the poses to start with. You should not be doing some poses if you're overweight. So all these factors should be kept in mind while I prescribe you yoga for your knees. And then when you do it in a correct way, you will see the benefits. As I said, it boils down to one thing: the reports from your doctor, the diagnosis from the doctor's integration, and the yoga therapist work together, experienced yoga teacher work together, and they will custom made the poses for you, and then you will benefit from it. And but I must caution that participant not to just do any pose. It might further deteriorate his or her condition, so you have to be very careful in that. But it is going to help you if you're doing the right ones.
Yes, so I hope that you got your answer, and I hope that there is a teacher and expert right now with us. And if you want to, reach out to her, maybe she can give you the right direction how you should go on further. There is another question from Iman about postmenopause and insomnia, and I think this might be the last question. So we have 2 minutes left, and then we'll go for a wrap up. So she's asked that are there any specific moves or poses that if a person is going through a certain condition like insomnia or postmenopause, they should be doing that?
Yes, again, it's a very good question that for a postmenopausal women who are undergoing problems like hot flashes, irritability, and sleeplessness, uh, there is there are set of yoga poses that you can do, and especially for postmenopausal, the breathing exercises. There is specific breathing that you should not do. There are specific breathing that's being prescribed, so you should be very careful. As I was mentioning, nothing is good for all. One size doesn't fit all. It's not that approach. So for your age, for your body type, for your other condition, there are breathing practices that you can practice just going before going to the bed, like alternate nostril breathing. Um, you can do it. It's really good without any side effects. Actually, anyone can do it. You can even Google it if you don't know how to do it. It's called alternate nostril or anulom vilom. When you do it before going to the bed, it calms your system. It brings down your cortisol levels, your stress hormones level, and it is again backed up by the studies that when you do that breathing, you feel calm. And when you do it before going to bed, and there are poses that you can do after the food, as I said, there has to be a considerable time gap between the last meal and when you're practicing it, which are going to help you with sleep, with general relaxation of your body and mind. I mean, when I say relaxation of the mind and your body is again active, it's not going lazy. It's just your mind level is more beneficial. So it's been researched. Lot of help, a lot of benefits in postmenopausal and perimenopausal women. They benefit a lot from yogic practices.
Oh, wonderful. I think all of our attendees just poured in all of their questions, and most of these were related with the medical conditions that they were going through, and you enlightened and guided and gave them the right direction. And I hope you get that direction and act upon it. So I think this will just mark the end of it. And before we wrap up, I would just say that there are some people here in the Zoom and some on the Facebook live stream. Any final message to all of them?
um, the final message is that yoga is becoming a new mainstream now. It's not just the ancient wisdom has. I always believed in it. It's coming. It is becoming a new mainstream. Try to imbibe in your life, and always take an advice of someone who is very experienced. Don't try to do anything on your own. Reach out. Always, it's an integrated approach. And this is one thing, it's so powerful. It's a powerful tool in these challenging times. We are all going through this challenging times. And I would say this is one thing that is so much accessible, so easy. You don't need any equipment, you don't need to invest in anything big. Just the right knowledge, a patience, and persistence. If you invest these two things, you are going to reap the benefits. That's a promise that I can make here today. That if you are tolerant, you can take it, go slow, and you are going to reap the benefits from it. And anytime, if anyone has any question, you can always feel free to reach out to me. We have a yoga group that we do. I started it with the advent of COVID. We do it every day, and I'm trying, and my friends at the platform, we are all trying, to help as much as we can. But again, um, you know, it's not very personal. But again, if you have any personal problem, you can always email me. That will be the best way to reach me, and I will try to guide you with the knowledge I have. But as I said, this is the new mainstream. Try to imbibe in your life. You will get the benefits.
I think that's very kind of you, Dr. Punam, to make yourself available for this session. So thank you very much for that. And I think you have helped a lot of people today. I personally felt a lot relaxed and knowing the facts and realizing a lot of things that we do not realize and we take for granted. So thank you very much. And thank you to all of the attendees who've been with us throughout this 1 hour session. I think keep taking the feedback from the comments. I think they really enjoyed it. And just final message to all of you that I learned from Dr. Punam, I think that take care of yourself. Imagine yourself like a flower, and a flower which is vibrant and fragrant. That's the one where the bees will come, the butterflies will come. So first of all, take care of yourself, and then you will be better able to take care of people around you, your loved ones, and that's when you flourish and you nurture. So thank you very much. Take good care and see you all soon with another webinar series from Canadian Pakistani Support.